Hey, boys and girls, how are you today? It's Pastor Brad, and it's another children's chat. And this Sunday in church, you're going to hear a Bible reading from a very old pastor. His name was John, and he writes in his first letter, chapter 3. And it's a really cool promise for us all. It says, we receive from God whatever we ask. Wow! How cool is that? But then there's another sentence. Because we obey His commands and do what pleases Him. Ooh. You mean God will give me whatever I want, but I have to obey all His commands? I don't obey God's commands all the time. I don't know. How about you, boys and girls? Do you always do what is right? And you never, ever do what is wrong? I want you to think about some of those things. Let's think of the many things that God commands us. How about this one? Always tell the truth. How about this one? Don't hate anyone, especially your brother or sister. How about this one? Never use bad words. Don't steal. That means don't take anything that belongs to someone else without their permission. Always feed the hungry and visit the sick. Okay? And the list goes on and on. Don't hurt your brother and sister. Don't talk back to your parents. Always be kind. Always be good. Always do what your mom and dad says to do. Oh, there's a lot of do's and don'ts. Lots of rules. Yes, there is. And we don't keep those rules very well. So, I'm going to help you to understand this Bible verse. Because it says, we receive from God whatever we ask because we keep His rules. Now, here, so let's see how this works. Okay, so maybe we can understand the commands of God better by a little illustration. So I need a volunteer, and it looks like I got one. Okay, so write a number 1. Okay, now I want you to write another number 1 next to the first number 1. Very good. Now, I want you to write a number 2 below the first number 1. Very good. Now I want you to write another number 2 next to that number 2. Now, I want you to draw a horizontal line under the number 2's. Now, I'd like you to draw a number 3 under that first number 2. And I'd like you to draw now another number 3 next to that number 3, the first number 3. Oh, look, the answer's 33. Well, boys and girls, that was a complicated way to get you to write out all those figures on the paper. I had to give you 7 different commands. But I could have told you to do the same thing with just one command. I could have said, can you add 11 plus 22? Sometimes we're confused about all the commands that He has given us. We know what we should do and we know what we should not do, but we can get confused by trying to remember them all. So, the Bible makes it very simple. You see, God has given us His Holy Spirit to live in us. And our Bible reading tells us that God gave us what we asked because we obey His commands, and then right after it says, this is what God commands that we believe in the name of His Son, Jesus Christ, and love one another, just as Christ commands us. So instead of telling us all the things we could do wrong and we should do right, it says God commands us to believe in Jesus Christ, the one who keeps all the commands of God perfectly for us. That's what He's done. And He has forgiven us for all the things that we have done that we shouldn't have done. And we can live under a new command, a simple command, which is to love God, to believe in Jesus Christ, and to love our neighbor. Now you think about that. If you can just remember to love God above everything and love your neighbor with God's help.
Your love is so